When we left off, we were beginning to sort, organize, and tackle some of the projects on Makara, our Celestial 48 in Honolulu. Hello, gentlemen.
Yeah, better. Oh, hello.
Hello. What are you guys working on?
Working on a cover for the engine instruments on Varuna. We're on Makara working on something for
We're kind of all over the places between two boats, but it looks like you guys have found a successful method.
We have.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we'll have to do proper introductions in a little bit here, but we had some crew show up yesterday. I have Adam and Daryl. Kathy's over on Varuna. And first day, we're putting them to work. They're tackling some of our projects for us because we have quite a long list, so they're helping out, starting to get stuff done, which is great. One of our biggest projects has just been like sorting and organizing stuff. There's so much stuff on this boat. Different parts and pieces, spares, which is awesome. And a lot of just kind of random stuff, so we've really been sorting through to see what we actually need, really declutter it so we can organize things, because there's very little organization. Get stuff nice and cleaned up so we can have room to work, and slowly, very slowly, checking items off the list. What's going on up here?
Putting a shelf in here, so we've got more storage.
Nice flat area, can be a bed, storage, whatever, yeah.
Multi-purpose, hopefully.
Yeah.
Sure, people like me could sleep up here. Either way. A couple of the other doors should stand that way, and we'll have another section in there.
Okay, cool.
So you can pull it out. And
behind me here, you can see this is a new piece of foam we got the other day. This is kind of like a pilot berth that folds out. Usually it's the back of the settee, but it can fold up and be another berth, which we'll use since we'll have a lot of people on board. And down here, this foam, this used to be a mattress topper on the aft cabin bed. It's already a really nice, big, thick, squishy mattress. There's no need for it, so we pulled it off, added some extra padding under these old cushions, did the same thing on this side. So, nice, squishy beds. I got the lee cloths installed under here. We just need to get some tie-off points.
So have you ever had the top of this off to get to the electronics underneath?
No. So what are you working on now?
We're going to get the jigsaw and cut the top of this stove off.
We're actually trying to replace the thermocouple because we can't get the stove to stay lit. It lights, but it won't stay lit because we think it's the thermocouple.
The oven, actually.
The oven, right.
Oven.
Yeah. The stovetop works fine.
When we're finished, we'll learn how we should have done it.
Yes, typically how it works.
So there's no free. So we were trying to get inside this thing.
It doesn't slide. It doesn't seem to slide. Because this is the starter,
Oh, I see.
right?
With all 5 people here, I think we have 5 people, I'm not sure. With all of our crew except for one here, right now we are just busy tackling projects. Everyone kind of takes on a project or two, makes it feel like we're getting a lot done here. Yesterday, Ty got the deck fill installation finished up. So we now have 3 deck fills for our 3 diesel tanks. Still need to hook one of them up to the tank, but that should be a pretty quick, easy thing. It'd be awesome to be able to fill our diesel from outside the cabin, because before, the only way to fill it was from inside, which is pretty strange. We could actually pull up to a fuel dock now and fill up that way, or just use jerry cans. Either way, we'll be filling from outside on deck rather than in the cabin. Ty's dad got finished up yesterday a project in the forward cabin. That area had been all ripped apart and was just kind of used as bulk storage. He got a platform put back in there so we can put a mattress in there if we like. For now, for the passage to Pacific Northwest, we won't be using that to sleep underway, but it'll be a nice flat shelf and we can organize some of the storage a little bit rather than just having bulk stuff thrown in there. We still have some engine issues we're troubleshooting. Hopefully we're having a mechanic come out today. We're not getting hardly any flow of water out the back. It was fine when we initially came and started it up. It was running great. And then we did some engine work, changed the impeller, and now there's no water coming out. We've done as much troubleshooting as we can do and cannot figure out where the blockage is. So we have a Yanmar guy coming out today to take a look at that. I am working on finishing up the cushion for our starboard side pilot berth, the one that folds out. We got some new foam for that. I just put some batting on it, and now I'm going to make a little cover, just a simple little cover for it. So checking projects off the list, which is good. That nice bright red paddle, that is our new wind vane control paddle. The old one was just a piece of regular ply, and it was cracked and broken a bit. So we fabricated a new one out of 3/4 inch marine ply. We soaked it in penetrating epoxy and then went ahead and painted over the top, just because epoxy does not like UV very much. With whatever paint we had some red spray paint left over. So we have a red paddle.
What are you doing anyway?
We are draining, we bleached the tank. We're shocking the tank to try to get any crud out of it, the water tank. This is the big 200-gallon tank, and now we're draining that out. So Adam put together a sump pump. We've got a line here into the sink, and we're draining it.
So here's the contraption. We've got a little sump pump that he's got down in there, little like bilge pump.
A bilge pump, yeah.
Couple of little duct taped together hoses here. It's working. We've got a good flow out of it.
Yeah, we do.
And then we've got a nice, I don't know how much feet of cable. We've got like a 30-foot cable that runs back to a spare breaker right now. So the tank that they're filling down there is, well, Hillary knows all this stuff. I don't know. It's 200. It's big.
It's 200 gallons.
200,
We already emptied out the 50-gallon.
That afternoon, the engine mechanic showed up to help us troubleshoot our lack of water flow. We had already changed the impeller for a second time, and we're still getting no water out the exhaust. So we set to work dismantling the cooling system to see if we could find a blockage somewhere. As I had flashbacks to working on Varuna's heat exchanger only a few weeks ago, we found that the end of the heat exchanger we could easily access was clear, and the mechanic was just as stumped as us.
Now, the engine, since we changed the impeller last week, we've got no exhaust water coming out. This over here is our seawater pump. That is where our impeller is. It's kind of the key thing on a marine engine. That is where you're getting your cooling water to take the heat out of the engine, basically. It's bringing seawater in through here. This pump is what is forcing that through. On this engine there's a heat exchanger, an air cooler, an oil cooler, and that is extracting the heat from the coolant, which is circulated around that area, and then that's going out overboard. We have no water coming out overboard right now, so where we're at the moment is Hillary has changed this. We did have a diesel mechanic come out to help us. We got some new O-rings and gaskets and so on. This end of the heat exchanger came off. It looked really good, you said, right?
It was a bit green, but not bad.
Not clogged or anything. New O-rings on here. The other end, which I guess would be the aft end of the heat exchanger, this is where the intake and outtake are. So the way the heat exchanger works is it's baffled at this end, so it's split in two, and the water comes in on the bottom, it comes down this end, it flips it around and comes back out the top side, and that's where it exhausts out. So there could be, traditionally that's where you get your blockages, because the heat exchanger you've probably seen from Varuna is nice tiny little tubes, like that's the tube stack. Anyway, no water, so we think we've got a blockage there. We can't take this end cap off without removing this entire air cooler. We don't have a gasket to replace the air cooler here, so until we get a gasket in, which they don't have locally, we don't want to take that off. What we're going to try today is, we've got this end off, we're about to take this hose off on the other side of the seawater pump. We're going to bypass that, and we're going to take a hose and see if we can get any flow through there.
Ready?
Hold on. Okay, you got it?
Yep.
Okay, not too hard because I need to turn this, that's good. Okay, let's go for more. Oh, I've got water coming out here.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Good news. I've got water coming out the other end. The water is coming out after the vented loop, basically, which is after it's exhausted out the back of the heat exchanger, just before it enters the exhaust elbow. So that's good news, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is, but basically the water is not making it from the mixing elbow to the exhaust.
Okay, you're good. Yep.
We just fired it up to check it with the hose off here. We have no flow coming through. So now we're going to take the impeller plate off. What the?
What?
No
impeller?
There's no impeller in there. Jesus.
You're kidding.
Who can we blame on it? It wasn't me. I wasn't here.
Who was down here taking stuff apart?
I remember it was you when I went to the doctor's
But
office.
who last assembled it?
It was probably Gary or
I
Hillary.
think you assembled it.
Nah, I wasn't here that day. What day was that? So, well, that kind of now unfortunately mutes all of our testing points.
Yeah, well,
Which
which impeller do you need?
And he's better than none. Is that what they say? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No water.
Oh,
There we go.
got something.
It's gotten better. That's pretty good on there.
When we first did that freshwater flush,
Maybe
on
that
low,
cleared something.
When we put it on high, it felt like it might have pushed something out. But I still find that weird, like for it to be blocked that bad where nothing was coming out before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that hose would have been enough to clear it. So we pulled this off. I believe I'm going to take one of the many connections.
With the cooling system back in working order, we finished up our list of engine maintenance with a fluids change.
We'll replace that oil, change the fuel filter here, which hasn't been done, in the oil filter. And we'll double check the coolant. I need to top it up. Well, here we are on Makara. We've got her out of the harbour, got the engine working. And Hillary and Kathy are down below, cleaning the bottom.
Oh, the bottom's surprisingly not that bad. Very, very black and slimy, like we'll need a good scrubber to get that off. Just some seaweed and like little fuzzy things I'm scraping off right now, so not terrible. Alright, going down.
My name's Daryl. I'm here with my wife Kathy, and she's in the water cleaning Makara right now, while I sit on the deck and watch the sunset. It's beautiful out in the ocean. It's our first time out on the Pacific since we got here, and it is just wonderful.
So I was just realising that I haven't done any update for a while on my injuries or my pain that I've been having in my back and leg. The back pain has gotten a lot better. Unfortunately, I ended up with some really bad leg pain, specifically my left leg. It's really numb and extremely painful all the time. The good news is I got in to see pretty good doctors and got some intensive physical therapy. That multiple times a week. That didn't do the job in the end. They sent me back to get an MRI, which I did, and that showed a degenerative disc and pinched nerve in the L5 or something or other like that. That will be means, let's say I've got a consultation then to get some sort of an injection that they do under a live x-ray into your L5 discy thingy, whatever that's called. And then if that doesn't work, it's probably an operation or something like that, which I don't really want. Where that leaves me right now is it's okay if I'm moving around mornings and evenings. It's really bad, and it's been pretty painful out here on the boat today. This is the first time we've been out of the harbour in a while. Since we got the engine going now, we could bring this boat out and clean it. And we're hoping to do some sails over the next number of days to really kind of put us all through the test. I'm just a little bit worried right now about beginning a 3-4 week journey back to the mainland and how painful that's going to be. I've noticed today, just being back on the water, the rolling motion seems to really play havoc with my pain and injury.
Thanks so much for watching. If you're not already, be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next installment. Share with your friends and give us a thumbs up. Until next time, adios.